Hello and welcome back. We're at the conference at the final stage of the day one, which is great because it actually does leave us a lot of field for some great talks again tomorrow. So please make sure to be here with us on that day as well. But I wanted to also welcome the people who are here in present and who are in the lecture hall. I'm glad that you've come back, and I hope that the presence will be much bigger. I wanted to let you know about the fourth panel, which is striving for research excellence in the priority research areas. This is what is just displayed on the screen. And it is a meeting of 6 people, 5 of whom will actually be here in this room. One of them, again, the moderator, will be joining us online. And so for that reason, I will describe him at the very end of this meeting. Let's talk about doskonałość, so the Polish word for excellence. We're searching for that. With our panelists from the Medical University of Białystok, Professor Marcin Moniuszko, the Vice Rector of that university. Yes, you are here. Thank you very much, Professor, and I do this. Thank you. I think this should, yeah, you can be here, or you are actually invited to be here. Yeah, that's the right way to put it. And then from the Łódź University of Technology, Professor Krzysztof Jóźwik, the rector as well. There are a lot of rectors joining us. And since I want to be fair and give everybody a proper meeting and greeting, thank you. From Uniwersytet Medyczny w Łodzi, so that's the Medical University of Łódź, Professor Lucyna Woźniak, the Vice Rector. Professor. And we've been practicing before we did, so, and I know the professor is not a huge fan of this type of greeting, so we wanted to save it right now. Thank you for being here with us, and I hope that the feeling is good about this panel. It is wonderful, you say?
Yes, within people who know each other very well. So we are among friends.
You really do know each other
we can
very
discuss openly.
How well do you know each other?
Whom?
It's stupid questions.
Don't ask too many questions, because if we go into
Objection.
details...
Yes. Sustained. Okay, so you know each other, so there should be a good flow. I'm curious if you know the 2 remaining participants as well?
Yes.
Mr. Krzysztof, Mr. Robert?
Yes.
Okay, so Professor Krzysztof Bielawski is the Vice Rector of the University of...
Gdańsk.
Yes, you're right.
We know,
okay, perfect.
yes.
And the applause is audible, I hope. Yeah, I mean, you got my applause. And so if I say Professor Robert Stawarz, you say which city? You said that, Kraków, the Vice Rector from the Pedagogical University of Kraków. Thank you very much, and great to have you. Okay, thank you, sir. This is the last meeting of today. I hope that we will have a great discussion. And to really make sure that that happens, we've invited this great moderator, bless you. And his name is Professor Józef Palinkas, who is an atomic physicist, which is yet another example of how multidisciplinary people can be. I think the right word for such a person who is knowledgeable in many areas would be a polymath. And so he is a professor at the University of Debrecen. Okay, Professor Palinkas. Yes. Is the introduction acceptable so far?
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so I'm so glad to leave you with this wonderful set of guests, and obviously you're in charge right now.
Thank you very much. And my warm welcome, and also from this large distance from the comfort of my home. And I thought that I sat at this table so many times, but I never wear a tie. But because of this special occasion, I thought that I put up a tie, just most of the gentlemen in the room. Now, these great 5 universities were the run-uppers, or were running up at the first competition. And when I read the reports and actually followed the 3 panels in this morning, I had the impression that this exercise, this excellence exercise, is really very successful already. Because the universities, as I see, started a kind of self-reflection which probably was not there before. Now, this panel is about research excellence. As I said, I followed all the 3 previous panels, and of course research came up several times. But now in this panel we would like to particularly focus on research and research excellence, or excellence in research. How can you enhance that? Well, I worked in research institutes and also at universities, and also in leading positions in universities. And I know that to change and to enhance the research capacity and the excellence in research is not an overnight work. And reading your reports, I noticed that there are really some positive changes, and I would like to hear your assessment how this exercise changed actually the attitude at the university. I would put up just 3 questions at the beginning, and then we will discuss that. My first question is about the organizational changes you have to carry out to enhance the research at the university. The second is how you provide support those who are doing outstanding research. And the third one is, how do you seek to attract excellent young and experienced researchers? And with that, I give the floor to you, the panelists, and if I have to choose, I guess, then I would like to ask Lucina Wojciak, Medical University of Lodz, or Łódź, if I pronounce it properly. So, Luciana, please.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here, as I declared, among colleagues and friends. Talking about excellent research or excellence of the university, we are in fact talking about two things. First of all, it is organization level, and the second is personal level of human resources. First of all, we decided after the call, after the initiative call, we decided somehow to change or amend our strategy that was created in 3 years' time period, and to put more attention on excellence in research. The first thing was that we decided to support our researchers on the organizational level. For that, we created the unit that is supporting them in many aspects of the activity of the research and career development at the university, because we would like them to be focused on research. This office is on their service, both in legal, formal, to solve their illegal, formal problems, to support them in preparing applications for grants. It also keeps contact with all people that are somehow selected as potential group leaders at the university, to monitor their development, to support them if they have problems in reporting, in interactions with national and international agencies. So we think that they feel much safer in what they are doing, and we wanted to reach this. The result is that within the COVID, the pandemic time, we observed quite a high activity of our leading young people in applying for research grants, as I said, both on European and national level. We are very happy of that, and the success rate is increasing. So we are glad that this is the case, because then we can build strong research groups. The Medical University of Łódź is at the moment in a very important stage, also from the point of view of building a really big new campus, where we could have both hospitals, research centers, research and innovation centers in collaboration with companies, both on regional, national and international level. We also decided to collaborate and create new opportunities to our researchers with several other institutions where they can find support and partners, because I think that especially medicine and medical sciences are the field of joint activities. These are not fields of individuals working in their labs. For some times we have already core lab operating at our university that is offering also external services for the equipment they have, and also consultation services both to our researchers and to external people who come and want to join. But at the moment we are building two new centers. One of them is called Molecular Lab, so you can understand that this is for biomedical sciences, for basic research, and it is dedicated to to civilization diseases mainly. And the other one that is called BRAIN, it has nothing in common with brain. It's just the name of the Center for Collaboration with Industry and other institutions in Łódź. For both of these places, we've already supported researchers who will start their teams within these new entities. So infrastructure and investment is connected directly with the promotion of young researchers who will become leaders in 2-3 years' time. By that time, we expect them and we support them to get external financing, support them with internal grants that are given on the competition level. So we decided to support several of our young and middle generation researchers with this kind of support, but expecting them to apply for national and international research grants. I'm very pleased to say that we also harvest this year our efforts to improve the situation of young researchers and to support them. And we are pleased that we signed within last 2 months several agreements with the National Agency of Medical Research and also with the National Council for Research and Development, because this will give financial independence for more than 4 or 5 big groups, including the Center of Early Stage Clinical Trials, which I'm very happy with. So
thank you very much. I would like to move on, and we will come back to these questions, but no, I would like to ask Professor Christoph Losweg from the Łódź University of Technology, and if I may ask that if you can comment on the cooperation between the 2 universities in Łódź.
Dear Chairman, dear panelists, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the possibility to show you some works that we performed from the period of application up to this moment. And one comment to your question, we have more than 2 universities in Łódź. Here we have Professor Lucyna from Medical University, but we have also university as the Humboldt meaning of the university. And I think it is possible to establish some cooperation between the universities as free, but not only, because we have some research institutions and Polish Academy of Sciences, some institute of them. And all these institutions put some effort to cooperate. Mainly, we can mention that together with the university and Medical University of Łódź, we established a special program within the power, so financed by our ministry, of the doctoral studies. So together, 3 universities are directly running that program, and I think, I do hope, and I'm positive, that we will perform that action over the time of founding that program. So we will continue that way. What is more, with the Research Institute of so-called the Center of Health, Mother of Poland, We establish a strong cooperation with a new program, and we find some money, external money, to create new project, establishing the IT Center of Excellence to observe and to collect data of patients. With Polish Academy of Sciences, we established a program that is also connected with some research for PhD. So we exchange the possibility how to use our labs to conduct research. So all these give us the possibility to cooperate. I mentioned the level of PhD, of projects, but there are many, many things that we perform together within research, starting, and it is directly connected with defined our priority research areas. I have to mention that during that 1 year, from the application time up to this 15th day of September, we are running 87 research projects within that priority research areas. That is increase of more than 30% comparing the last year. So that's our view and our effort how to increase the cooperation, but focus on increase or giving the possibility to obtain the excellence in research and establish new centers of excellence together with other researchers from Łódź.
Thank you very much. Can we move on to the Medical University of Białystok and Professor Masina Moniuszko?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Research excellence, research university. I really consider this definition very, very seriously. And even at the stage of submission and application, we were thinking what actually would like to achieve by applying for research to research university status. And for us, for myself personally, is not rather the, let's say, the group of the, I would say, the islands of research excellence within the university, but rather to making the mechanism that is making the, at least entire, maybe not entire, but majority, vast majority of researchers of the university to achieve this research excellence. And that was our goal, and that was our idea. It is our idea. And for example, in case of our university, it's not a secret that Medical University of Białystok, within this top 20 group, is probably the smallest one. I'm sure it's the smallest one, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't consider it as something bad. I would already consider it as something, as a virtue, because to really become or to be the research university, I think it's very difficult to govern such a university if it's really big or it's very diverse. I really am kind of sorry for all these big universities, very good, very, very great universities that are already research universities, but I know and I can imagine how difficult for them, for the rectors, vice rectors and directors, has to be to really make or keep this status or to prove it that the status has been granted you know, just in a justified way. I think that the smaller the university, the easier is to govern, the easier is to really make it work towards this goal of achieving this research excellence. What are we doing in terms of organization, in terms of this motivation, different ways for our staff? We focused on encouraging our researchers into working together, into creating something which we call creation of the Polish database of high definition medicine. What do we understand by this? We generally in life sciences, but mostly in medicine, we desperately lack the integrated knowledge about the diseases, the patients, the relationships between the lifestyle, environment, and you know, diseases, development of certain diseases. And we really made this very, very difficult effort to try to integrate as many data coming from our patients, from people at the risk of developing certain civilization diseases, with many other different aspects. For example, not only clinical phenotype of the disease, but also the lifestyle, the environmental, together with this very detailed analysis of the entire genome, metabolome, proteome, and radiomic analysis. And the integration of this data is the priority for us, because after that, we can really build something that is very comprehensive. And based on this comprehensive approach, after creation of this comprehensive approach, we can really build the tools of artificial intelligence, the prognostic or predictive algorithms that can be truly used in patients with the certain diseases, with malignancies, with other diseases, but also in people at risk of developing certain diseases. And by this approach, which seems to be kind of trivial if it wasn't very difficult to achieve, because it really takes the very integrated work of very different groups at the university. Sometimes it's also about stepping back from personal ambitions and to working towards some common goal, to build something that is that will be worth, that will be important to the society and also to the university. So what we are doing, we are not trying to jeopardize our excellent researchers' individual efforts, not at all. So what we have our own excellent researchers that they are doing already the very, very good research. We encourage them and we support them to continue so. But on the top of that, we are trying to show them that this is what you're doing is great. Go ahead with that. But also we are showing the new perspective. But your work can be also the part of something bigger, something more comprehensive, something that can build, something that is really beyond, is crossing the borders between different disciplines, even between different priority research areas, trying to build something that is really comprehensive, integrated. This integration is something that we are desperately missing in medicine. We can see it in the example of COVID-19 pandemic.
Just because of that time constraint,
yeah,
I would like you to finish up.
So I will just,
yes?
I will just finish with the organizational steps. So the way we're achieving this is to create and to build a couple of interdisciplinary centers that are actively working at the moment. The Center for Artificial Intelligence in Medicine that is integrating all of this data, Center for Bioinformatics, Center for Clinical Research, and by running, we are preparing new also PhD course for together with the Technical University of Białystok that will be the core, the medicinal bioinformatics. So just a number of examples by which we are trying to attract this to young researchers that will be welcome to be the leaders of these projects within this integrated high-definition medicine. And if time allows, if chairman allows, then I can present some more details and examples later on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lee. Even in the first round of this exercise, I was very much interested in the Pedagogical University of Krakow.
Yes.
Because, of course, research is very important at universities, but you also have to train very good teachers who will train young people, and when they like science and they like research at a very early age, that is very important. And I would like to ask Professor Robert Staats, Pedagogical University of Krakow, to make his short remarks.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for possibilities of speaking here. We did a lot, I think. Some simple and not so simple things. For example, we changed authorities also because to being in this group of top 20 universities awakened hopes a lot. And people wanted to be in the first top 10 group. And after we had been in the second group, like all of us here, the reception for most academic staff was rather negative. So they have their voice and they change everything. Now, happily, we have a rector which understands the process, and fortunately the new authorities support changes. And me as the rector's proxy can say that we will continue. We want to continue these processes. What we did, we started with all the authorities yet, and this negative outcome, as I said, of the competition triggered substantial discussion about the future steps. The failure application, as I said, can have influence on decision during election, but this is not a problem. Some research areas we banned. We abandoned it as not feasible without the 10% increase. And generally, as a consequence, there is increased focus on the traditional mission of pedagogical university, namely the training of teachers. A new measure, the concept of postgraduate studies has been completely reworked, orienting in an increased way on demands of contemporary schools. There are visible activities around objective of the proposal and new offer responding for better preparation of teachers for remote and hybrid learning, because nobody knows what does it mean, remote learning. We do it, everybody, but we don't know how it will be, what the effects will be, didactic effects. So we rethought and restructured system of distribution also of internal research funds, which support these projects who are connected to research areas. The management of associated data flow have been completely digitalized. As I mentioned, some research areas we abandoned as weakly, as not connected to education area, or maybe too expensive for realization. And these PRAs, which are directly related to education, we are going to continue, and we do it. And new authorities are absolutely decided to do it. Now we are going to concentrate more strong on teacher training based on science facts. It is important, obtained in psychology, pedagogy, and biology research. And first step of new rector these 2 weeks was to create a new faculty for psychology and pedagogy. It was funny that Pedagogical University didn't have the faculty of pedagogy, but now it has. We modified the structure of some institutes, crucial for realization of these research projects. And in the future, reinforcement of science areas directly connected to teaching process, such like psychology, pedagogy, cognitive science, biology, we will support more strong. This is in express tempo shown what we did.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much keeping the time. Now, last but not least is the next one is the University of Gdańsk. Krzysztof Białowski, Vice Rector of that university. And if I can ask you also about the cooperation of the universities in Gdansk, because in the previous panel we saw the Gdansk University of Technology, and I suppose that there are cooperations and research cooperations between the two universities.
Thank you for the invitation to this panel. Yes, I just wanted to comment to this previous session because, well, I am the poorer partner of those two rich universities, but really we formed the union of the universities in Gdańsk, and what we as a university, this classical or comprehensive University of Gdańsk, can contribute to is the European university status we got in the call of European Commission. Our alliance is called European University of the Seas. And I think it is quite unique within this program of the European Commission because we focus on the field of maritime research, but not only, teaching as well, of course, and the universities forming this alliance are all around the European seas and oceans. So from Cadiz in Spain to Malta, the University of Malta. But coming also to the question about the organizational change of the university, we are proud to be a part of the union where two universities in Gdańsk are the research universities, so we had to get the status of the research university as well. So because we got only 2%, not 10%, we have to cut our task, our objectives from the initial application. But we do not change the strategy to become the university, the research university. So in the strategy of the University of Gdańsk, there are points, there are statements, and there are tasks to get this status. But we really need to make quite a heavy or really good changes in the structure. But what more, we have very good model for changing the structure regarding the priority research areas, because at the University of Gdańsk we also have two international research agendas supported by the Foundation for Polish Science, with more than 10 million euro for each of the Center of Excellence. And this model is really perfect for doing the same with the other three priority research areas we want to make. One of these is also related to maritime research, so there is a link with this European University initiative. The model for the International Research Center is based on the directors and principal investigators, which are called during the recruitment procedure, with the International Steering Committee, of course, where the members are from all over Europe. And in our case, we have two centers, one in the biomedical research and the second one is in quantum physics. And what is, I think, unique in Poland is one research center for biomedical research. The director is from University of Edinburgh, and the co-director is from the University of Paris in France. So immediately this center now has more than 60% of foreigners on the all level of research career, means postdocs, the PIs, and also the doctoral students and other staff. So the internationalization process immediately is just boosted in case of this center. Of course, those people from abroad immediately ask about the tenure track career model, which we can offer. And here is again synergy with the Excellence Initiative with this 2% of support, because we can offer the stable position for those, the best of them, who are from abroad or expatriates, the former Polish postdocs now coming to Poland back we have cases from University of Oxford and Johns Hopkins University in the US. One of these person immediately get the ERC grant, so it is a real boosting of the research quality thanks to this model of the international research agenda. So we want to move with this and to extend this also to the other priority research areas in humanities, in social sciences, and also in these priority areas related to maritime research. Here, the synergy with this European University project already is because of the research agenda we made for those 5 other universities within the European University Alliance, and now we know which research groups we can work with, we start to cooperate with. There are already some initial letter of intents and some discussion how to cooperate in the research grants with the University of Malta, with the University of Cadiz in Spain, and also those universities from the international research agenda, because they are a strategic partner. In the case of the Biomedical Center, it is the University of Edinburgh. In case of the quantum physics, this is Austrian Academy of Sciences in Vienna. In both cases, this is institutional cooperation with those 2 places, and those universities also started to cooperate with our partners from the European University of the Sea. So I can say that, but again, the main problem for us to get the status of in the next competition of the research university is to make a change because of the change also in the Polish law and the evaluation process by the disciplines, not by faculties. Because, to be honest, we need to decrease the number of some disciplines which probably will not get the right level of research quality, and then the competition for the next round for the research universities will be not for us. So we need to make real deep changes, and we, of course, are facing now the process of discussion, also political discussion with the research and scientists who probably need to focus on teaching more than on research, and then we will get the less disciplines to be evaluated by with the much better research quality. Also in the social science and humanities, where the expert panels just focus and made some critics of the quality, and we know the situation at the University of Gdańsk. So also some incentives for young scientists, like mini grants and so-called publication program, which we support from this 2%. This program means to support publication in highly rated journals, and also make some kind of award system for people who really published on the very high quality papers with 200, 140 points in this Polish system of scoring for publications. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We are a little bit behind schedule, but I let you finish your statements, and you mentioned actually quite a few things which I wanted to ask, but just very focused on the one thing I would like to ask you, that how do you seek to attract young and experienced researchers to your university? Because research is mainly personnel, and of course you need equipment, especially in medical research and in other fields. but the decisive factor is really excellent young and experienced researchers. And I would be glad if you could mention that, of course, you got only 2% increase, but did you have any reallocation of the basic funding of the university for these priority areas? So why don't we start now in a sense backward? So I would give the floor again to Krzysztof Białowski.
Yes, okay. We have I should say, very state-of-the-art infrastructure due to the previous grants we got from for example, 7th Framework Program. We established a Center of Excellence at my faculty, Intercollegiate Faculty of Biotechnology. There are several successful grant applications already in the international research agendas. Those people from the biomedical research agenda got the equipment grant for more than 2 million euro, and the infrastructure is very good, so it's attractive for people from abroad, and it is one of the point where we can say, okay, why not to come to Gdańsk to make your research, because there is a state-of-the-art equipment, and you can do it. And what's more, you also have the environment or ecosystem of good researchers from abroad, at least in those 3 priority research areas related to natural and life sciences. And those people can really help you to explode with your career. So, and as I mentioned, in the case of those research agendas, the recruitment was based on the competition, on interview with people, and it's also Polish people coming back to Poland. I mentioned this already, and foreigners. This is the way we can attract. Of course, we are not so, let's say, sexy like UK and US for foreigners, but more and more people are coming to Gdańsk, and it's very interesting, mainly from Spain. So people from Spain somehow like this region of the North Poland. I don't know why, but really this attraction of people from abroad and researcher is a growing process. But it's not easy, of course, because still the incentives in terms of salary is not so high. But now with the change of the system of higher education and science, where in case of the doctoral schools, all the students they got the fellowship, and somehow if they also can get some extra money from other research projects, they have quite good amount of fellowship and salary now. Also, we started now in this month the so-called industrial doctorate program, which is very interesting for us as a classical university. We will have some 6 PhD students doing research in cooperation with industry, mainly in biotech industry, but it's very interesting for us and good experience to start with this.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we move now to the Pedagogical University of Krakow? And
yes,
I repeat my question that could you reallocate some of your basic funding to the priority areas you mentioned in your application?
yes. They were allocated, but not on the separate account. But the projects which are connected to priority areas are supported. special commission deans take this project, and this is competition for money. So this is also what I want to stress. The very important is support of science office to help young scientists in grant application, because this is also always the problem. They don't know how to do it and where to go. These are very simple steps, but very effective. We also create a special motivation system for science work, and this is argument. If you are in top position, you can be first for money in the internal system of application, because, as I mentioned, we rethought and restructured the system of distribution of internal research funds, which are based also on this 2% increased money. What else? Humanities play an important role in training of future teachers, so they obtain additional support through the research office also, and through the vice rector for research, because he has a special fund for this. These are the same money. And pedagogical university supports also on the individual case basis publication of best articles, regardless the discipline, in open access journals. And at the end, I would like to say something. Our new rector says that to be a teacher, it is not only money, this is the mission. And this is probably true, because it is very difficult to work for this money, and especially in this time.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, it is absolutely true. Can we go now to the University of Bialystok? Medical University of Bialystok, to correct myself. And of course, the size of the university is not necessarily decisive, and having this artificial intelligence center in Bialystok, it's probably a very interesting and a thing which will gain more and more momentum. Could you get the interest of people from other universities in that project?
Absolutely, absolutely. Actually, what we discovered a couple of years ago, that really this is the best way to attract the people from other universities and from all around the world, to show them that this is a high-quality research. And this also refers to this artificial intelligence in medicine, which is not the building. This center is not the building. This is the way of thinking, the way of doing research. And once we show, we actually, our understanding of the really high level of artificial intelligence in medicine is just to create the really high level, high quality databases. Because if you don't have good database, you cannot have good algorithms for even if you have the best information, if the database is just poor or scarce, you cannot create the really valuable algorithm, artificial intelligence algorithm. And what we found is that once we show that we really care about the quality from the scratch, from biobanking, I'm not whether you know, but 70–80% of all the data in biomedicine cannot be reproduced because of the poor quality of the sample collection. That's just something devastating, but that's the way. Not many people really care about it. We do really care. But if you show the people from around the world, and also around the other universities, in other places, in Bialystok, but also in Poland, that we care about the quality of research, about from the A to Z, then really they are happy to be the part of it. And we actually had no problem, for example, with recruiting foreign young researchers within the program of Horizon 2020 PhD studies. We are the leader of this program from European Commission, when we had 200 candidates from all around the world, and finally we recruited 15 of them from United States, Mexico, Germany, Italy, Spain, Indonesia, Ethiopia, Iran. And also, but also it's a great asset to the Polish partners from the Technical University of Białystok, with which we are working closely within this artificial intelligence project. They are our closest partner in this, but also University of Białystok. Also, we have partners in other big universities from all around Poland. So to show other people that this is the high quality research, then they really are getting attracted. And this is why we are also approached by our partners from Heidelberg, from Hamburg, from Greifswald in Germany, from University of Pécs in Hungary. The bioinformaticians from this university, they are also really happy to collaborate with us because they see actually the virtue of working on artificial intelligence solutions that are actually grounded on the high quality databases. We are crazy about this database. I know I repeat this phrase quite frequently, but we really care about the quality. It doesn't have to be the biggest database all around the world. It doesn't have to be Genomics England project, but it has to be something very comprehensive, high quality, because after that, after collection of this data, we can really then create the very valuable tools of artificial intelligence that will really work, not they will be just published, that can really work in real patients, in real clinical situations. So again, the quality, which is really a big attraction to the partners from nationwide and from all around the world.
Thank you very much. Really very interesting. Now, Christoph Josvik, Rector of Łódź University of Technology, could you comment on that question again, that how you reallocated, or could you reallocate any funding for the priority areas?
Of course. I have to divide our actions into two fields, the internal one and the external one, and the results of the external actions could be also covered by the internal one. And first of all, the external one. According to the experience that we have running the international research agenda, similar to the Gdańsk University, but in other fields, we start the internal grants, so-called startup grants for young researchers program. In our priority research areas, we established that grants to create the team of researchers for that prominent young researchers from abroad or other areas of Poland. So a part of the money received for that application process of the research university, we directly put to be spent on the group established by that young researcher, but he or she has to prepare the application describing how to create the group within that research area of researchers, support them with the money to start the operation, and support them to apply for the external money for the research project from NCN, it means National Center for Science. So it will enable them to start and to create their own group and to increase our priority research areas. And as far as internal actions are concerned, I have to mention the action of covering the fee for open access and the motivated system for authors, especially or particularly for the young one. It means for the most valuable publications, we establish some money they know they will receive if the paper appear. And to strengthen the areas, we support the application for the European grants. And I have to mention that to the previous year, we have 10 Horizon grants running, and new 15 applications under the review during that 1 year. The second one, that is the support for publications created with the cooperation with external researchers. So we have an increase of 10% of such publications during that 1 year. And the third one is to start the program of seminars, so-called the high aspects in science, the high achievements in science. But we prepared the project and we obtained the funding to establish the direct personal cooperation for 60 our researchers, to have the contact with 60 or even more researchers from abroad, the prominent one, and establishing that personal contacts, we do hope that more than 60% of them will create new way how to increase and develop the cooperation and increase the level of the research within that groups. So that's our money that we receive, we spend for that actions that I mentioned. External one is the Young Researchers Program, startup grants, and internal one, open access funding, that motivation system for authors, especially the young one, and the external money used for supporting the preparation of projects, then the cooperation to prepare the international papers, and the personal contacts with prominent researchers from abroad and our selected open-minded young people.
Thank you very much. Now, Professor Wozniak, if you want to mention any of, or make a comment any of the previous questions, please do. But I would like to put for you just one question, that what is the bottleneck? What is the most important thing which you see as preventing the university to go faster, so to say, in research excellence?
Okay, let's start from the easier thing, just commenting on what my colleagues said about allocation of funds to improve excellence of the priority research areas. I want to state, maybe it wasn't said clearly enough, that we as university decided to invest into these two initiatives I was talking about, which in fact deal with our priority research areas, which is connected with aging and civilization diseases, and Moleculab is partially built with support of the university money. Of course, this money was invested from general funds we have. We invested in two directions. One, it was additional value for building up core laboratories, but the second part was connected with supporting new research groups that will be somehow operating there and responsible for development of these priority areas. We also did something that I think is very important. We completely changed the motivation system of the internal grants that we had. Since last year, only 40% of the funds is divided, let's say, in traditional way, but the 60% is divided among the groups depending on their achievements and involvement in the policy of the university. Of course, this is something that is not accepted very much, I must say, and it's not like that everybody loves the approach that we have, but we think that we really improve the areas we want to improve, and will have this kind of natural selection, because we also need good people teaching, connected with our mission of teaching medicine, but we want to have this natural selection of people who are much more dedicated to research, and we do this. We finance open access, but only for Q1 journals. If somebody wants to publish in Q2 or lower, we try to discourage these people, not supporting them from the university level. So these are two things. The question about the bottleneck is quite difficult, and of course it's not very easy to describe it in a few words. But I think that there are two major steps that we have to look at, and there are, first of all, it is the situation that part of our leading researchers, these are clinicians also, and they are involved in clinical activity very well. So it was very well observed during the COVID situation, because they integrated immediately to create this academic center for virology. But at the same time, they were involved in clinical activity and not in research activity. And so this is the first one. The second one is that the type of activity, of research activity that we have at the university is very often intermediate situation for several of our young researchers. And it has to be just said openly, that for some of our good PhD students, or very good PhD student, a research career is not the first choice. So we invest in them because they are smart and clever, but afterwards they choose either clinical or other career. We also have the situation that our best students or best PhD students, they very often have a lot of interesting offers from other institutions. And of course, we can support them within either 2% of the award we have at the moment, or with other substantial, even substantial support from internal money that we earn and have for the development of the university. But at the end, very often, they just choose, as I said, another careers. So we expect that creating the Center of Early Clinical Trials will keep some of them involved in research, university research area for some time at last. We also support international collaboration. We are very active partner of EIT Health because this initiative, this network is in line with one of our priority areas. So having opportunity to collaborate with the best universities within this network, we can somehow offer our students alternative approach to giving them going abroad for some time, or creating the environment for alternative research careers. Very much interested and very much popular these days are our activities that are connected with involvement of a sort of entrepreneurship into research. I know that this is not very popular, but I think that keeping collaboration with the leading companies, pharmaceutical or technological, can also improve the quality of our research, because we create a very interdisciplinary
we are running out of time
environment.
So yeah, could you kind of finish it up? And there will be questions now from the audience or those who are following us online.
We actually do have one question, Professor.
Yeah.
And the question is has to do with what Professor Robert Stawarz from the Pedagogical University of Krakow said. And so one of our viewers says that the professor was quite honest and open about how the outcome of the ITUB impacted the university community. And so you were honest to say that some people might have been disappointed or discouraged. And so I wonder how the situation was of the 4 other universities.
Shall I?
Please.
Okay. So I should say that it was also the kind of disappointment in the the first moment when we got the result and we are not in the first league but in the second league. But then we were happy that we got the 2% in real money, not in the papers which we do not, we cannot spend immediately. We were happy that we, at that same time, got the status of the European University. And coming also to the bottleneck question, but we were very much afraid how to get, and we keep in the strategy of the University of Gdańsk this goal to achieve the status of the research university, how to do it, being a classical university with all those different fields of research from natural sciences to humanities. And we know we are aware about our weaknesses in this point, so we have to do the political decision how to change the structure of the university in front of the next evaluation process, being the third partner in the union of the universities in Gdańsk, also with the status of the research university. So there is the disappointment, then excitement again, and now we are in the stable position and situation to work on the step-by-step realization of the strategy.
So at first you've been quite sad about it, but then you've seen some silver lining or some consolation prize. And how about you?
Well,
yes, Professor?
Yeah, I just would like to correct one thing, that these universities are not the second league. They are just
okay.
It was a kind of
in
joke.
the first league,
no.
but
it's a kind of joke.
The other ones were the starting team. Sure. And
the conference today is the best example that we are in a one program, and that was a kind of joke only. Yeah, sorry.
That's true.
Medical University reacted probably as the other universities with somehow a disappointment. Then it took us some time to get reflection on what happened and why did it happen. And then I think that something very optimistic and important appeared, because it seems that building up the strategy for the application, we created a very strong group of young people, very much dedicated to this idea of being real research universities. And I must say that I'm sometimes quite astonished that people come and say, oh, why don't we think about this and that? Maybe this will support our efforts. On the other side, it's great to be in a club like that. I think that exchange of good practices, exchange of ideas is something that is maybe even more important than these 2%, because it is less than 1% of our budget. So this is not about money. This is about the spirit. And the spirit has been started building with the let's say, deep analysis of the situation of the university and about the spirit. I think at the moment is very good. Young people understand the extra opportunity that they have being in this group of the universities, and some of them are very proud of it. So it is good for future, because the most important thing is that we build a team ready for work for future.
So the program probably served as a lot of
as motivating
incentive,
motivation,
as motivation in very much, you know, like American style. Yes, we can. Maybe we did not reach it at the moment, but why not?
And then in 7 years,
that's something that is as much important as this 2%, or even much more.
And you can also hope that in the 7 years, you will be within the top 10.
Yes, we do believe this. We will work very hard on it, and we know that all of us will. So hopefully somebody will decide that 20 universities are the research universities, and then we reached the level.
So there's going to be a lot of rearrangements.
And then we can exchange with the other ones, yes.
I imagine that coming. Professor, if I just told you that that we had some 5 minutes or so to wrap it up, what would you say?
I see the clock here, so I guess that Professor Wozniak nearly summarized it, that the spirit and the motivation is very important. And what I said previously, that these universities started a kind of self-reflection and looking into their processes and how they can really improve. I don't want to be cynical, but having a competition like that, everybody learns. Even those who were not selected for the 10% increase in the first round, I see that my conviction, which I had already when we evaluated these universities, that this competition, this excellence initiative, certainly will give the Polish universities, the whole Polish university system, a real inspiration and motivation to get a much better structure, concentrate better. And there were also very important ideas exchanged during these 4 panels today. For example, the very important thing which, if I'm not mistaken, was given by Professor Monoisko from the Bialystok University or the Medical University of Bialystok that in many cases you have to really change things around, and that change make people to think about the routines. And if you see the real possibilities for a future improvement, that will inspire the whole community, not only the rectors or the leaders of the university, but really the people of the university. And from your accounts today, I got the idea that not only the leaders of the university or the leaders of the research groups, but the whole community in these universities were really inspired to show that they can do even better than they are doing today. So for me, this exercise is really a great thing, and I think that the ministry doing just the right thing. And if the ministry and the universities can work together, this exercise really will put Poland on the map of the really good, the best universities of the world. And of course, we are in a sense here to help you in that. And during the selection process, and now during this first kind of assessment process, which of course not something that we want to evaluate how far do you get, but this is good conversation about how to go ahead. And I'm pretty sure that we, the members of the committee, learned a lot from you. And I would like to thank you, the leaders of the university, the staff of the university, and last but not least, the technical staff, to make it possible to have a good conversation from quite a distance. Mm-hmm. So good luck for everybody.
Thank you.
Be careful in these COVID times, and do the best to help people, especially at the medical schools, but I guess many other research projects can contribute, that we will overcome this this COVID crisis. And the universities and the research community certainly takes a large effort and a large part in that. So thank you very much, and we will see some of the other universities tomorrow. And I hope that 1 year from now, or maybe 2 years from now, we will meet again in this group or some other arrangements. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Professor Moderator. And I too hope that we will overcome all of the challenges that you mentioned. Obviously, we're on a good path, and we're glad to be here, all feeling empowered, and just knowing that it doesn't really depend on your place or your rank in this program, but on your participants in the whole program, which is really about this great exchange, for which I'd like to thank you. Of course, our moderator there was Professor Józef Palinkas, and our guests have been Professor Marcin Moniuszko, Professor Krzysztof Jóźwik, Professor Lucyna Woźniak, Professor Krzysztof Bielawski, and Professor Robert Stavash. Great, thanks.
Thank you.
And once again, I'd like to thank the technical staff and our wonderful interpreters who've been really active for at least 8 hours. So that's a lot of interpreting, that's a lot of talking, that's a lot of things to be careful with. And I'd like you to be careful about our next appointment, which is just tomorrow. We shall be all here at 9:30 a.m., which is the time for this conference to be available online. Thank you so very much for your participants, and see you in less than 24 hours. In much less, actually.